Welcome to the Daily D, and today we are making caramel corn. I make this, I only make it about a couple times a year, usually at Christmas time. My daughter, I usually send her some, but this is great. Kids love this, and this would be a great thing to make little grab bags out of for kids' birthday parties or send to school, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the butter started. So I'm just going to turn this on, get the butter melting, and then I'll talk to you about things. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is popcorn, okay? And I'd like to give you an amount, but I'm not going to. What I do is I pop it, and I just pop it so that the pan I'm going to be using for it is full. I use a roasting pan. So roasting pans vary, so just keep popping the popcorn until you do it. It's best if it's air popped, and I do mine in the microwave though, and this is how I do it. I take a lunch bag, and I put in a quarter cup of kernels. I keep my popcorn kernels in the freezer, and then I close it. And then this is just one of those corn cob things. You can use anything, and I make a hole like that. And then I just take a wooden toothpick, and I put it through, and I put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. Depending upon your microwave, it might take a little longer or shorter period of time. Just if it's been like 3 to 4 seconds and you haven't heard a kernel pop, then take it out. It's done. You don't want it to burn. Then what I do is I open it up, and I just put my hand in and take the kernels out. All of the kernels that haven't popped will be in the bottom, so the few kernels that haven't popped will stay in the bottom, and they won't end up in your popcorn. So just don't dump it out, because then you're going to have these hard little kernels in it. And you can use one of these bags 3 to 4 times before you switch out and get a new bag to fill it up. So I did maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 of them or something like that for the amount I have. Okay, so right now I am melting 1 cup of butter, and I'll tell you the rest of the ingredients that you need. You need 1 cup of butter. You can put in 1 to 2 cups of peanuts with this. I haven't decided if I am or not, so I don't have those out. I'll see what the mood strikes me when it's time to do it. You need 2 cups of brown sugar. You need half a cup of corn syrup, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And besides the popcorn, that's it. The entire thing is pretty easy. What we're going to do is we're just going to melt this, and we're going to put everything but the vanilla and the baking soda in here. I'm just waiting until this melts a little more. We're going to bring it to a boil. We are going to boil it for 5 minutes while stirring constantly. And then what you do is you take it off the heat, and you add the vanilla and the baking soda. And when you do, the baking soda is going to kind of make it foam up a bit, so you want to select a pot that's bigger. Don't put it in a little wee pot in case it kind of foams over it. And then you just pour it over the popcorn, you mix it, you put it into a 200-degree oven, And every 10 to 15 minutes, set a timer on your oven, you're just going to go and you're just going to mix it up again. And what that does is it's not cooking the popcorn, it's actually drying the caramel on the popcorn. So it's kind of drying it on. Okay, so we are going to add the brown sugar. Just going to stir that up a bit. And then I'm going to put in the corn syrup. And I'm just using the golden corn syrup. I use the, just a no-name brand from Walmart. Just going to mix that up a bit. Once that's mixed, I'm going to add the salt and mix it again. And if you have a heavier pot like mine, use it. Rather, you know, your heaviest pot. That type of pot is always best when you're making candy or caramel, because it more evenly distributes the heat. Okay, so that's my salt. So this is super easy to make. Oh, and in case I forget to tell you, you store this. It'll last for a couple of weeks, but you store it in a like a ziplock bag or something, in an airtight bag, because you don't want the air to get at it too much. Because it'll kind of get sticky again. It will kind of draw in moisture from the air. So I'm just trying to get this to boil, getting my phone so that I can set up the timer. And I'm just going to show you until the point that this boils, and then we're going to stop it. You don't need to watch me stir it for 5 minutes. Okay, can you see it? It's starting to boil all along here. I'm just going to give it another minute before I start the timer. I want to make sure it's going in the middle a bit. Okay, now you can see the bubbles are starting to form, the larger bubbles here, and you're getting them in here. So I'm going to start my timer, and we'll see you in about 4 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, this is all foamy. I've been beating it, well, stirring it constantly, and we have another minute to go, and then I'm going to take it off of the heat. "45 seconds to go." And I did this on medium heat. I can't remember if I just said that or not. And my oven is set at 200 Fahrenheit. But you can see now why I used quite a good sized pot. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this off. We've got a few seconds to go. And I'm going to unplug it. don't even know how to turn off my own phone. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here, and I am just going to move this out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to stir in the vanilla. Love the smell of warm vanilla. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in. And it does foam up a bit. Not as much as usual, but maybe because I do it immediately after taking it off and I waited a few seconds. So I'm just going to stir this for a minute to make sure everything is incorporated. Okay. Now I'm going to move it over here, and I am going to pour it over the popcorn. And make sure get every last bit of this goodness out of here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this pot. And I'm just going to slide this over here. Okay, then you can take whatever implement you want, and you're just going to mix it up as much as you can. Now, when this goes into the 200-degree oven, okay, even though it looks like not all of it is covered, as you stir it, it kind of keeps the caramel kind of in a liquid state for a bit. And you can, as it's in there for an hour, you can make sure everything is well covered. And you just want to make sure and get to the bottom. So I'm going to finish this up and we'll be back in a minute. So I've got it all coated as best as I can get it. It starts kind of solidifying, getting harder to mix. It clumps up. So now it's time to get in the oven, and every 10 to 15 minutes we'll take it out and we keep mixing it up, and eventually these won't be clumps, they'll be more individual pieces, but we'll show you a few times throughout the process what it looks like, and we'll be back. Okay, so this has been about 10 minutes. As you can see, the warmness of the oven has made this softer, and melted the caramel a little bit more. So you're just going through, not chopping things up, but you're just trying to get those last kernels to get some caramel on them. As you can see here, there's a big gob of caramel, so there's still plenty of caramel around. Sometimes, you know, depending upon how much popcorn I put in, see, there's a lot of caramel here as well. I don't quite get the caramel on every single popcorn. However, when you eat it, it doesn't taste like, oh, well, this one's plain. They all still have that caramel flavor, and I just take my spatula and I kind of, because some gets on the spatula and you're just trying to kind of rub it on all those kernels. Whoops. And just switching it around, getting anything that's on the bottom. Of course, I'm getting it everywhere, but in the pan. And another thing, don't overfill your pan. I've done that sometimes and I've lost half of it. And I usually do this just with the oven open. I'm just doing it in front of you, so you can see how I'm just turning everything around. And this is going to go back in the oven, and we are going to take this out every 10 minutes. We might show you once more before it's finished, so we'll see you then. So this is done. I've had it in about an hour. It depends upon how much you make, how long it's in, but can you hear this? That's how you can tell it's getting done, because it's kind of hardened. It won't be that way everywhere, but when it gets to be like that, it's done, and it takes about an hour. If it's really humid in your house, it might take a little longer, but once it gets that, it's done. You're going to let it cool, and then it's going to break apart a bit. You'll be able to, as you can see, it's not quite lumpy anymore, clumps of it, and as it dries, cools off, you'll be able to tear it apart and just put it in Ziplock bags to protect it from moisture, and it's done. So this is going to be cooled off, and we are finished. It's super easy to do. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our recipes playlist for all of our great recipes, and we hope to see you in the next video.